Welcome to the Stealthy Aging Strategies live stream. I'm so glad you're here. Movement and finding ways to incorporate movement into our day. Hey, if you're watching this live or catching the replay, I'd love to hear from you. So just pop something in the comments. Last week, I shared some of the benefits of developing a consistent movement practice, and I'll leave the link for that in the description. Today, I'll share one easy way that has really helped me and scores of other people move more and sit less in my day. So I would describe myself as built for comfort and not for speed. And I am working on that. I'm working hard on changing that. And honestly, though, I think making daily movement a comfortable, mindless habit for me is a lifelong journey. I'm Coach Susan Murray. I am the founder of Stealthy Aging Holistic Coaching. And I confessed last week that I am a recovering fitness slacker. And the emphasis is on recovering because being physically active for me is not something that just comes easily or naturally. I have to put some effort to enjoy it and to make it habitual. And in fact, when I wake up every morning, I need to fully intend on exercising. And I need to know what it is I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it, or else it just doesn't happen. Now, because research is so compelling, the research is very clear that being physically active improves just about every measurement of health and wellness imaginable. And it sets us up for greater independence and resilience in our later years. And because of that, I am determined to make movement a daily requirement for myself. It is just an absolute for me. It has to happen every single day. Now, I spend most of my workday at a desk, so I also like to intentionally integrate movement into my daily activities and do short bursts of activity in between longer stretches of inactivity. A researcher, Monique Francois, calls them exercise snacks. And her research from, I think it was 2014, found that there was improvement in the subjects who she had them do only 2 to 3 minutes of exercise with 20 seconds, a 20-second burst of very high intensity exercise, was climbing stairs. They did some 3 or 4 other activities, warm-up activities, and then a cool down, but it was really not more than about 3 minutes or so total, and it all centered around that 20-second all-out burst of energy running upstairs. And they did this 3 times a day before each meal, and they did it over the course of 6 weeks. And her research found that the subject's oxygen uptake was improved. It was a modest improvement, only about 5%, but it was an improvement over the control group. And this illustrates that that the smallest amount of exercise can be effective as long as it's done consistently every day. So if movement is so beneficial and it takes so little time to reap the benefits, then why are so many of us reluctant to do it? Um, I think it was last week I shared that only around 25% of the adult US population meets the CDC requirement for the number of active minutes in a week. And that's a really sad statistics. That's low. So, and we find every excuse under the sun to skip exercise. We do. I know all of them because I've used all of them. So I have a philosophy about this, a theory, if you will. I think one reason is that society, why we are so reluctant to build and incorporate a daily movement habit, is that we are conditioned to associate improved eating or consistent fitness with practice with looking good. It all seems to go around aesthetics. And so we set goals around things like fitting into that fabulous dress or reaching a weight loss goal for a class reunion or some other short-term milestone event rather than focusing on the long term, on decades from now, like being able to climb stairs and walk on a hiking trail or lift bags of groceries or spend an hour in the kitchen cooking and doing all of those things safely and unassisted at 90 or 100. It's possible. People do it. And unfortunately, our society just spends too much time focused on the aesthetics and wanting to make all of us bodybuilders and swimsuit models rather than focusing on the things that really matter, like the endorphin rush that we get from a strenuous workout, or how great we sleep, or how our blood sugar and blood pressure stabilize, and how our cardiac function and brain function improve. So that's the first part of my philosophy. The second part is that we take on too much too soon. So we try to go from sloth, an animal that is definitely built for comfort. I love a sloth, to a cheetah, an animal definitely built for speed. And we try to do that in a matter of days. And instead of taking things slowly and incrementally and consistently building a movement practice that can not only sustain us, but that we can sustain over our lives, over our whole lifespan. And because what happens when we take on things too fast and too soon is that we burn out and we say, well, that didn't work. Gee, I did that for 2 weeks and I'm just sore and achy. It did nothing for me. So if you're more on the sloth end of the spectrum, if you spend a lot of your day sitting, one thing you can do today that's easy, as long as you do not have medical contraindications for it, is to just stand. And I'm standing right now. In fact, you can see I do wiggle around a lot when I'm standing. I move my legs and my upper body. Before I go on, here's a good time for a disclaimer. Always check with your healthcare provider before starting any kind of wellness program, including exercise. Now, I'm not talking about spending 8 hours on your feet like right now, but just finding ways to incorporate standing more into your day. So you want to build slowly, you build up the time that you're standing slowly, and it may be uncomfortable at first, but you might also find that you have less back pain and less knee pain. And you might actually find yourself moving more because you're already on your feet, which is definitely what I've found for myself. Now, I have built more standing in my day by transitioning from a sitting desk to a standing desk. And I will post pictures because I just spend a lot of time at my computer. Um, I'll post pictures of my standing desk sometime this week. Um, and I'm laughing because it's nothing fancy. You do not need to go spend $1,000 for a standing desk or $10,000 for a treadmill desk. I mean, if you've got it, use it, but you don't need that. You can find ways to use what you have at home to create standing workstations for yourself. So my standing workstation is just an old folding bed tray that just happens to fit on my desk, and it's the right height for me, exactly the right height. And then my monitor is sitting on, very securely, sitting on a stack of Will and Ariel Durant's The Story of Civilization, which is such a good use for that series of books. I think it's like 4 or 5 of the thicker volumes. And we also have a tall, we found it for like $10 at a yard sale, a tall cafe table in our kitchen. And so I use that when I'm down in my kitchen and stand at that. So I've been able to find ways to build in. I find I'm just more comfortable standing than sitting these days. So now some words of caution when weaving more standing into your day. Again, start slowly and wear shoes. And I'm not talking about 4-inch Jimmy Choos. I'm talking sensible, low-heeled, supportive shoes, something you would wear for a workout or a long walk. And that's really key because if you're not accustomed to standing for several hours a day, you will need to support your feet and your legs and your back with supportive footwear, and you'll need to take frequent breaks to sit down, or if you're home or in a place where you can lie down, stretch out, you can do that. So if you're challenging yourself to stand more, move more, and sit less, I'd love to hear from you and to hear how it's going. Next week, I'll share some more simple, doable ways to fit fitness into your daily life. And if you are on Clubhouse, you can catch me in about 45 minutes at 11:15. I'll open a room, and I don't know what I'll call it yet, but I'm Susan Murray on Clubhouse, and I've left a link in the description box. So if you're on Clubhouse, you can catch me there, and we can actually chat in real time. Chat like words. It's a fun app. Okay, so until then, wishing you well.